Indiana has always had a love for the automobile. In fact, in the early 1900s, over 40 cities and towns in Indiana were manufacturing cars. One of these early auto pioneers was the Auburn Automobile Company located in Auburn, Indiana. In 1924, owner Ralph Austin Bard approached successful car salesman and businessman E.L. Cord in hopes that he would run the company, which by this era had fallen on hard times. Cord took over the company and began manufacturing several models of luxurious cars. In 1930, construction was completed on the new headquarters of the Auburn Automobile Company, which today is the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Museum, the next stop on our journey across Indiana. Here, in the original showroom, customers from all over the world would walk through and decide which new innovative model of Auburn, Cord, or Duesenberg they wanted to purchase. This showroom still houses the same iconic cars that it did over 75 years ago. Sam Great, the collections manager, has the privilege of handling these classics on a daily basis.
This museum was the original international administration building for the Auburn Automobile Company. It was built in 1930, and it features many different Art Deco styled decor, which reflects the Art Deco style cars that were built back in that day.
At the time of production, these were some of the most luxurious and expensive vehicles in the world.
A man named E.O. Cord came and became general manager of the company. And the first thing that he did was, there was a big backlot of unsold cars at that time, and he took those cars and he managed to sell them, make a good profit for the company, and was able to turn it around. And in 1926, he became president of the company. He was rather unscrupulous with the stock market, and he would often inflate stocks, and that came to backfire on him. And in 1937, he had to sell all of his remaining stock that he had in all his companies and any assets that he had. And prior to that time, the Auburn Automobile Company was suffering from declining sales. Despite what they tried to do, they couldn't get the sales to where they needed to create a profit. Ultimately, when E.O. Cord sold his Cord Corporation and all his assets, that's when the automobile division completely shut down. The museum opened in 1974. We have on display currently 132 vehicles, of which about 70% the museum owns. Several different galleries displaying not only Auburn's Cords and Duesenbergs, but also other classic cars of the era, such as cars made in Indiana, special interest cars, and other cars that people have on loan here.
The museum houses one of the rarest models of Duesenbergs in the world, the famed Duesenberg Model X.
The Model X automobiles, the Duesenbergs, they were built first as chassis. Only 13 chassis were created, and of those 13 chassis, 5 were actually bodied, and of those 5, only 4 exist. This Duesenberg is what we refer to as the rarest of the rare Duesenbergs. And this is because it is in the best condition, and it's the only speedster Duesenberg built for the Model X designation. This was built as strictly a show car in that it has no windshield wipers, it has no roof for it. It was built purposefully to keep Duesenberg in the public eye during the off years when they were producing these cars.
The Model X isn't the only rare automobile in this museum. Also in its collection is a rare 1931 Duesenberg Model J.
Now, not only did Auburn Automobile Company produce some of the finest cars of the classic era, but they were also styled by some of the finest designers. This Duesenberg was styled by a gentleman named Gordon Bierig. Gordon Bierig was one of the more well-known designers of the Auburn Cord and Duesenberg automobiles. This Model J Beverly sedan is perhaps his best-known Duesenberg style. It's well proportioned. In terms of other Duesenberg body styles, it's very sleek. And not only did he style the exterior, but he also styled the interior of the Duesenberg.
In addition to the rare Auburns, Cords, and Duesenbergs, the museum houses several special interest automobiles. These range from early prototypes to rare European classics and special vehicles loaned to the museum. One of these, on loan from the Museum of Crime and Punishment in Washington, D.C., used to belong to one of the most infamous Indiana natives, John Dillinger. This 1933 Essex Terraplane was used by Dillinger to outrun and evade the police in 1934. Dillinger liked these cars because they could easily outrun those driven by police. The Auburn Duesenberg Museum stands as a monument to the innovative nature of the early automobile pioneers. It was their drive and determination to create new, exciting products that have shaped the automobile landscape and laid the groundwork for the modern cars that we know today.